This video is the first of a two-part series. In this video, I will explain how mercury gets into the atmosphere and makes its way into fish and finally into mothers and babies. I will also talk about the danger of organic mercury exposure to prenatal individuals and infants. In the second part of the series, I will describe which fish to eat and in what quantities and which ones to avoid in order to prevent organic mercury poisoning of babies. Please feel free to watch them in any order. So let's get into it. Mercury is released into the atmosphere from certain industrial activities such as the use of mercury in gold mining and power generation through the burning of coal. It is also released naturally through volcanic emissions. Once mercury is in the atmosphere, it is carried to aquatic ecosystems such as lakes, rivers, and oceans. Mercury is then transported to the sediments of these aquatic systems. Sediments tend to be anoxic, and in this environment, a special kind of bacteria converts inorganic mercury to organic form called methylmercury. Methylmercury is now released into the water column from sediments, where it enters aquatic food webs, making its way into fish. Methylmercury is easily transferred from one trophic level to another. Every time it is transferred from a lower trophic level to a higher trophic level, it biomagnifies. This means methylmercury becomes more concentrated in tissue, such that by the time it gets to the top of the food chain, it can be present in levels that are toxic. Animals at the top of the food chain, such as sharks and swordfish, tend to have high concentrations of methylmercury. So far, we've talked about how mercury gets into the atmosphere and ends up in fish. But why is this important? Why should you care? We care because humans can acquire toxic methylmercury from fish. We care because the most vulnerable demographic to methylmercury toxicity are babies in the womb and infants. Upon fish consumption, mothers can transfer methylmercury to a fetus through the placental cord and to a nursing child through breastfeeding. All forms of mercury are harmful, but the organic form methylmercury is extremely toxic. It is a neurotoxin, that is a chemical that attacks the brain cells and spinal cord tissue. A baby in the womb and an infant are extremely vulnerable to methylmercury toxicity because their nervous systems are still developing. Extreme prenatal exposure to methylmercury can result in a form of cerebral palsy, mental retardation, blindness, deafness, limb deformities, and other birth defects. These tend to be permanent and irreversible. Even smaller prenatal exposures have been linked to delays in neurodevelopment and cognitive deficits, such as loss of IQ points, poor memory, reduced attention span, and substandard language skills. The effects of methylmercury toxicity are not trivial and must be taken very seriously. The point of this video is not to frighten you, but to inform you of the dangers of methylmercury poisoning, so that caution is taken to avoid it. In part 2 of this series, I will inform you of the types and quantities of fish to consume and which ones to avoid in order to prevent methylmercury poisoning in babies. I hope you have learned something new from this video. Please like, subscribe, and share with anyone who needs this information. Also, you can check out other videos, none of them are time sensitive. Thank you.